What changes are we anticipating Kelvin Sheppard making on the defense? We'll talk to Jeff Risdon from the Lions Wire about that.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Dery back with you on a Tuesday edition of Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And indeed, the #1 sports podcast network on a Tuesday, December 2nd and a Wednesday, December 3rd. Thank you for making us your first listen. And of course, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Locked On Lions today brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. If your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Cowboys coming to town Thursday night, 8:20, a back-to-back Thursday special here for the Lions, and a big game because this team is running out of time, as Dan Campbell said the other day, joining us today. From Lions Wire, Draft Wire, covers this team greatly. I'm on his website all the time. It is Jeff Risdon. Our buddy is back with us today. JR, great to see you.
Good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
I think I said yesterday on the show as a joke, I said the original Graham Glasgow hater, Jeff Risdon, is going to join us. I don't want to get you in trouble, but you were on that last year.
I just wish it was better, Matt. I really do.
Exactly. You were on it last year. You're like, I'm seeing some deterioration there. But
it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And he is right now, in fact, the best that they have to offer. So, go Graham, go get it.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. There's so many moving parts here, but let's start with the O-line. Look, Kelvin Sheppard, we'll talk about it in a second, kind of hinted yesterday about some changes with the pass rush. But on the O-line, now that the Frank Ragnow situation has come and gone, do you anticipate them just rolling out the same guys? Do you expect maybe Glasgow at guard, Cologne? Do they bench Awashika? Taylor Decker seemed to be pushing hard for Ragnow to come back. What does that say about that situation right now?
I think the injuries over the weekend in the Green Bay game exacerbated everything, because we saw what happens when Glasgow's out there or not out there. Cologne just isn't that guy either. I think he, like Glasgow, is better at guard than center. I don't know where the center is on this team. I wouldn't be opposed myself to trying Tate Ratledge in there if you find a better guard option, but I don't think they want to do that. They pulled the plug on that pretty quickly in the offseason for a few different reasons, some of which were certainly valid. I am very curious to see what happens with the other rookie offensive lineman, Frazier. I liked him a lot coming out of LSU. I liked him when he played left tackle as a freshman All-American back at Florida International. The guy's got talent. He's got grit. The issue is, where do you play him? Because he's capable of playing anywhere. They need to find where he fits best, and if he can get some action in this year, sort of like what Mahogany did at the end of last year, where they gave him the on-field audition as a late-round draft pick. He proved that he was ready. For the most part, he hasn't exactly had the best rookie season before he got injured. I know it wasn't his rookie year, but with Ratledge playing at right guard, maybe see him at left guard just to see, because Awashika's not getting it done either. He tries hard. He's actually a pretty good run blocker, but the pass protection just hasn't been there. Green Bay attacked him at will. I have a feeling that Dallas will do the same. So I wonder where Frazier slots into this whole mess, and if we will see him soon. I would love to see that. I've said it before on other publications. In the consensus draft rankings, I was actually the highest analyst of, I think it was 66 people on Frazier. So I want to see what he's got, and I'm happy that the Lions have him. It looks like he's ready to go. Let's see what he can do.
It's interesting. He hasn't played a snap of NFL football. He's mostly a right guard last year, right, at LSU. So
yeah, he has played. He starting experience at left and right tackle as well. Personally, I think he's the right tackle of the future, but that's just my pie in the sky, vision for 2026 and beyond. Where it is now, who knows, man.
Wait a minute. So you have Sewell moving over next year?
I do. I will say this. I wouldn't do it. I would leave Panay at right tackle. He's the best right tackle in football. I wouldn't mess with that. But if Taylor Decker moves on, It sure feels like they're going to move Panay to the left side. Maybe not. We'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of time to talk about that. As far as immediately, who knows where Frazier fits in?
But see, I don't know if Taylor Decker's moving on because he seemed to be the lead recruiter here to get Frank Ragnow back. So if you want Ragnow back next year, you probably need Decker there too, right?
I would love to have Decker back. He is the ultimate warrior, man. I love that dude. And he, other than one snap it was unfortunately a very graphically bad one on Thanksgiving, he played really well in that game and has had a pretty solid season. So he's still got stuff left, even playing as injured as he is.
Jeff Risdon with us from Lions Wire. Where else on the offense are you concerned? Obviously, we'll see if Amon-Ra can give it a go on Thursday, but what else are you seeing besides just us picking on the O-line? What have you seen in terms of positives and negatives there?
They played 4 different guys at tight end on Thursday, and that includes Dan Skipper, who played, I believe it was 14 snaps as an extra tight end or extra tackle as a tight end. All of them were bad at it. This is a problem. It doesn't look like Brock Wright's going to be able to go with the neck/trachea injury, which is not something that you ever want to experience. I can imagine. They really miss LaPorta. Now, I will give Tom Kennedy a lot of credit for filling into the Sam LaPorta seam receiving role. I thought he did a very good job at that.
Yeah.
And I'm not opposed to seeing more of that. But tight end, they either need to diminish its importance in this offense or get somebody who can do something at that spot. Because, look, when Anthony Ferkser and Ross Dwelly are your best tight end options, half the people listening to the show probably didn't know who those people were 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
maybe even more, and probably for good reason. It showed they need to get away from the 2 tight end sets when your tight end 1 and 2 that you've got right now are not among the top 20 players on your offense. Maybe de-emphasize that a little bit. I would love to see that. We'll see.
We were sitting there on Thanksgiving watching, and my son who went to Indiana goes, "Oh my God, Zach Horton's out there." I'm like,
"That's right."
I'm like, he's playing way too much. No, hey, I'm happy for the kid. He had a nice end of his college career playing for Kurt Cignetti at IU, but yeah, he was out there a ton as kind of a fullback. They're trying just about everything the other day.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth trying, and he does have some upside. Like I kind of like what I saw from him over the summer. I'd like to see more of him down the road, but again, if you're running 2 tight end sets, you should probably have 2 capable NFL caliber tight ends, and they don't have 1 right now. I wish they'd get away from that.
You mentioned before about finding answers, and certainly if St. Brown is out, how do you view the Tesla situation here and how much they're utilizing him? And obviously, they gave a lot of draft capital up to get him. When he touched the ball, it's spectacular. It just hasn't been enough.
Yeah, and some of that is on him. His route running is not where it needs to be yet. And we kind of knew that coming out of Arkansas, where they played him as a big slot and basically told him, go find a hole in the zone and just stand there. They didn't really ask much of him. He was a high school quarterback right up the road from me at Hudsonville Unity Christian. So he doesn't have like the breadth of experience at playing wide receiver. He's learning that on the fly. He is showing progress. I would love for them to target him a little bit more in the red zone like we saw on Thanksgiving. That was a fantastic route and catch. More of that, please. But he's got some work to do. He looks like a middle round rookie, which is what he is, who is still learning the finer nuances of playing his position. He certainly offers a lot. Again, Tom Kennedy showed me a lot the other day. The consummate professional. This guy has been on and off between the practice squad and the active roster. I don't know how many times. I can't count that high. But he keeps at it as a professional, and he does his job well when he's asked to do it. They got to find another person who can do that. If Saint is out, look, I'll harken back to the 2024 training camp when he missed a couple of days, and the first team offense, and remember, this is the number 1 offense in the league about to be, couldn't do anything at all against the Lions' second team defense. That was not a good defense a year ago. And so they desperately need to get him in, or again, find a way to mitigate it and hope that Tesla can step up, that maybe you get a little bit more out of Leaf if he's coming back. They do still have talent on this team. They do still have options, but it's tough when you're losing your best two options in Sam LaPorta and Amon-Ra St. Brown if they're both not out there, and obviously LaPorta won't be. That's a tall task because Dallas is the number one offense. They are comfortable not playing defense and just trying to outscore you. So you got to match that. You got to match that without those weapons. That's tough, man.
Yeah, it could be arena football on Thursday, no question about it. Jeff Risdon with us from Lions Wire and Draft Wire. We're going to talk more about the defense. When we get to that Kelvin Sheppard question and get Jeff's opinion on it, we'll do that coming up next. But first, our friends at FanDuel bring us Locked On Lions today on a Tuesday edition. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets going, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into that moment. They got live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. And you can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked in every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your live NFL bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Our buddy Jeff Risdon with us, Lions Wire, always on that website. Check his work out, Draft Wire as well. We get closer to the draft, we'll get Jeff back on here for sure. All right, so defensive coordinator Kelvin Sheppard says, hey, and you kind of wrote about it yesterday, calling out, spitting fire, I believe is what you said about the –
He was right.
About the pass rush, 4 sacks in 4 games and everything else. What's he going to do about Dak and Dallas on Thursday?
It's interesting because it looks like Dallas is going to be without tackle Terrence Steele, which is a big asset for the Lions. It's a chance for them to get it right. They have had their last 2 losses, Philadelphia and Green Bay. The Lions have had 0 sacks and 2 quarterback hits on the official NFL statistics website in each of those games. That's putrid. That's unacceptable. And Sheppard made clear that was unacceptable. Just obviously Aidan Hutchinson has to do better than what he's doing. They're paying him a lot of money to be an elite pass rusher, and he's not getting it done all the time. Now, he is certainly facing a ridiculous amount of chips and double teams and rolling pockets away from him and rolling help to him. Somebody else has to step up as well. We loved Al-Qadim Muhammad in September. He's touched the quarterback once since the bye week. That was a long time ago, and he still plays a lot. I think he was down to 19 snaps, but he's still averaging over 40 snaps a game. That's untenable. They've got to find a way to get Aleem McNeil, whether he's playing outside, which I don't care for, and I don't think that the Lions are going to do much of that anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not like put him over a guard. Let him sandblast the guy back into the quarterback. Let him throw him into the quarterback. That's where he belongs. You're not getting a lot out of DJ Reader and Tyleik Williams. Neither of them are really inherent pass rushers. I do think that Tyleik has some upside there, but it's not there yet. They've got to get something from Muhammad or Marcus Davenport coming back. He looked okay in Green Bay. Didn't really get to the quarterback, but he's got to be more attacking. They've got to find somebody, whether maybe play Derek Barnes more in the Sam role that they had envisioned for him, that he actually did very well this summer in the joint practices, specifically the one against the Houston Texans. He annihilated their blocking as a almost pure pass rusher most of the day. Where's that been? So maybe that's something that we'll see. He does have that background from his playing days at Purdue and really early in his Lions career. Unleash him, see what he can do. Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone blitzing, Brian Branch. Love to see him blitz because his coverage hasn't been very good lately. Maybe let him attack a little bit more. There are things that they can do personnel-wise, which is one of the things that Shep talked about. They've got to find a way to impact the quarterback, because if you give Dak Prescott time, look, I don't care how good the secondary is. And by the way, the secondary is playing really freaking well. They have the best man coverage distance of separation stats in football. they're really good considering the pass rush that they've got. My goodness. So you've got to impact Dak, make him get rid of the ball because George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, they got weapons, man. And Dak isn't afraid of them, and Dak's playing really good football right now. So you've got to find a way to impact that. Otherwise, this game is not going to go well.
It's the first time in years, and I know fans have been on Brad Holmes about the opposite edge rusher, but when you lose games, look, they're still okay. They're 7-5. The sky's not falling yet, although Thursday's a big night. But certainly it's the loudness, the volume's over 10 now for the fans that have said, why didn't you go get Aidan help on the other opposite edge, right? I mean, it's now really coming to fruition.
Yeah, the "we're good" statement is not being well received. It wasn't well received, and I was in the room when he said it, and it wasn't well received when he said it in the room.
Right,
and it has certainly not aged well either. Look, I don't know who they could have necessarily gone out and gotten at the trade deadline. Everybody wanted to talk about Trey Hendrickson. He wasn't available, and now he's hurt. So there is some you have to ground your expectations for what they could have gotten, but at the same time, not even trying was probably not the right message to send to a fan base. Detroit is not a football dumb city. We know what we're seeing. We know that it's not, we're good. We're not good there. We weren't good when you said that. Maybe try to address that. And maybe changing it up schematically is one way to do it. Let's hope that happens because, again, they've got a couple of games in a row now that they pretty much have to win if they want to salvage their playoffs. Some really good quarterbacks on the schedule coming up. If they can impact them, these are definitely winnable games. I do think that the Lions offense is going to get back. They're going to be able to score on Dallas. I think they can score on the Rams. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I hope I'm not. But these are winnable games. They can still absolutely get into the playoffs. And the old axiom is true. If you're in it, you can win it. This year, especially with all the upsets that you see every weekend.
Yeah.
Just getting in is the important part. They still have a path to get there. I think it's a very realistic path, but it starts with getting better on the lines. Look, we spent 15 minutes here talking about the offensive and defensive lines. That's where the investment has been so heavy from Brad Holmes in the draft and free agency. And right now, in the last 4 weeks, it hasn't paid off. But recycle back the first 8 weeks of the season, defensive line was arguably top 5 in the league, and the offensive line was certainly top 10. Neither of them has played to that level recently. Doesn't mean they can't get back there. And that's sort of that's the hope that I'm, smoking on these days.
Yeah, no, I hear you. The Kirby Joseph situation is interesting. The Twitter doctors are all saying, okay, it could be career ending with the knee, and he's got the brace on, practicing a little bit here. What's your sense and what's your read on the Kirby situation?
They have been very they haven't wanted to talk at all about Kirby on or off the record. And I think that speaks to their anxiety about the entire situation. Is this another Louis Delmas situation where you had a fantastic young safety playmaker? And I will forever defend Louis Delmas. I thought he was a great player. He just didn't have any knees at all for his second season. I don't think that it doesn't sound like medically Kirby is in that state yet, but he hasn't played in 6 weeks, very limited in practice. Looked like he was wearing, I don't know, like the sort of thing that you put on an elephant leg to keep it from getting blown off by a landmine. That's not conducive for football. They need him. They miss him. He still leads the team in interceptions with 3. He hasn't played since early October. They've got to get him back out there if they can. If not, rest him up, save him for next year, and hope that something can happen. Whether you can, there are a lot of different medical procedures that they can improve the cartilage in the knee. It won't ever make it as good as new, but we've seen a lot of players over the years get little boosts on that. Christian McCaffrey is a good example of that. It's not to where he used to be, but he's still pretty damn good, and hopefully that's where we get with Kirby Joseph too, because they do absolutely miss him back there, and that's not a. Look, Thomas Harper is playing pretty well, honestly, at safety, but Kirby's the playmaker back there. And you can kind of see it in Brian Branch and Amik Robertson and Terry and Arnold, the way that they play. They can't take as many chances because, Kirby used to cover those up. And Thomas Harper, good player, but he's not that guy. And they really need that defensive catalyst back there, a guy who can create some takeaways. That's been another area where they have been just awful. They are not getting the ball back. That would certainly help out the offense. Play on a short field once, that'd be great.
Yeah, they got the one pick against Jameis 2 weeks ago, and that wasn't enough. I mean, they survived it, but man, that was a wild day to say the least for the secondary. A little bit better the other day, but like you said, if Love is all day, doesn't matter. And like you said, with Dak coming up, if you're not getting any kind of pressure on him, it's going to be a long night again.
Yeah, it will be. And that's Dallas's plan, by the way. They've invested very heavily in their offensive line. It's starting to pay fruition. They've invested very heavily in their defensive line of late. The trade deadline has worked very well for the Dallas Cowboys, and they are immediately breathing down the Lions' neck. Lions want to stay in viable playoff contention. They got to go win this game.
We're saying nice things about Jerry Jones, so we got to go to commercial when we come back.
Oh, no.
Right? I think we're both on the same page on that.
Yeah, we are.
Let's look at the playoff picture and the race. We'll do that with Jeff coming up next. But first, our friends at Aura Frames bring you a Locked On Lions for today, and it's very, very simple. The holidays are officially here, which means gift hunting season is on. You want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get a reaction. Aura Frames is a gift that delivers every time. It's not just something you wrap, it's a way to share memories, because Aura isn't your average picture frame. You can preload the frame with photos before gifting it. So when they plug it in, the memories are already there. No apps to figure out, no setup headaches, just instant smiles. Grandparents, parents, newlyweds, everyone loves these photos. You throw them in Aura frames. It's fantastic. Endless uploads of pictures and 30-second videos through the Aura app. It's easy. It's a holiday gift that actually gets used, not forgotten in a drawer. For limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get 35% off, or I should say $35 off, Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code LOCKEDON at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code LOCKEDON. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames that sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Jeff Risdon with us, Tuesday edition of Locked On Lions from Lions Wire and Draft Wire as well. Jeff's always filling in on numerous shows statewide as well, and the huge show. I heard him a few weeks ago. All right, Jeff, tell me about the Bears. I mean, like, when does this end? Because I'm about had enough of good, better, best, and Ben Johnson with a shirt off. Yet,
I did not.
9-3 is impressive.
They're playing very good football. They are the #1 seed right now, which is shocking to me. Look, I give Ben credit. I wondered aloud if it would work for him. I didn't know that it wouldn't, but I also didn't know that it would. And so far, so good for him. I think he has, much like Dan Campbell did in that second season when the team rallied at the end of the year and ultimately played spoiler for the Packers. Ben has harnessed that negative energy that surrounded the team and focused it into something positive. I think he's done a very good job of that. Their roster is not as good as Detroit's. It's not. It's not as good as Green Bay's. It might, other than quarterback, it might not be as good as Minnesota's. Although Minnesota's quarterback is such that still can't believe we lost that game. But that's for that's for another psychologist couch someday. Look. You can't argue with the fact that they are where they are. Do I think that's going to last? No, I don't think they're going to be the #1 seed, but they've proven me wrong so far. Why can't they keep doing it? I mean, look, when the Carolina Panthers go in and definitively beat the Rams, who most of us thought was the best team in the NFC, like the Packers have lost to the Browns. The Eagles have lost to like crap teams. Like, it's crazy this year. The Giants beat the Eagles. How does that happen? Like, it's an inexplicable year. It's an inexplicable year in the AFC as well. You know, the Colts, the Texans were 0-3. Now they basically control their own playoff destiny. It's such a strange year. And for those of us that were expecting the Lions to be really good, and I'm certainly one of them, I'm sure you were too.
Sure. It's
a little weird. It's awkward. And water finding its level this year has not been as accurate as it has been in most years. hopefully the Lions do find their level, because this is still one of the three most talented teams in the NFC. I will go to the end of the earth saying that. They got to play like it. Maybe at some point the Bears start playing like a team that most of us expected to win 8, maybe 9 games and maybe squeak into a wild card spot. But they are outplaying their destiny right now, and the Lions are underplaying their destiny. Hopefully the water starts finding its level a little bit with the NFC North.
If the Bears are not the team, like you said, to be the one, who do you think ends up as the one in the NFC? Who's the most dangerous in your mind?
I still think the Rams. Look, Matthew Stafford had a really bad game this past week. He's been an MVP candidate. He looks really good. Seattle is a very solid football team. We watched Sam Darnold turn into a pumpkin a year ago. I'm not convinced that he's not going to do that again. And then the Eagles are the defending champs. Now, they have very serious problems. Their offensive coordinator had his house like egged and keeps getting threats. Like, it's not going well for them, but they are the defending champs. You have to tip your hat to that. They deserve the credit for that. But yeah, and again, if the Lions get in the playoffs and are reasonably healthy, if they're the team that they were in September, October, they can win it. They still can. I know people think that's crazy. Look, there's still 5 weeks of the regular season left. Remember a year ago, the Lions were the best team in football through the first 2 weeks of December. No question about it. What happened? Things happen. So there's a lot of time left. So you can't rule the Lions out, but they certainly have to get it. They got to get it going right quickly. Otherwise, like Dan said, they are going to run out of time.
Jeff, great seeing you. Thanks for stopping by. Keep up the great work at Lions Wire. Always love reading your stuff. And hopefully, like you said, a win on Thursday and a little momentum here down the stretch.
Let's hope so, man. Go Lions. Thanks for having me.
You got it. There it is. Jeff Risdon with us from Lions Wire on this Tuesday Locked On Lions. Marcus Mosier, Locked On Cowboys tomorrow as we do the crossover.